On July 1st, Anthropic turned its smartest model back on. Claude Fable 5. The flagship, the one power users pay real money for. Within a day, developers said it had gotten dumber. Worse at the exact code it used to nail. And Anthropic's answer? They hadn't touched the model. Not one number inside it. So what got worse? If you pay for an AI, and you felt it slip, sharp last month, sloppy today, that's your subscription and your money on the line. And you're not imagining it. Not always, anyway. The strange part is this. The model itself can be frozen, untouched, identical to launch day, and still get worse in your hands. How does that happen? Hold that thought. I'm Andrew. This is Signal Tomorrow, where we take the week's loudest tech story apart and ask whether the panic underneath it actually holds up. This one has a real answer, and it's stranger than the anger around it. If you'd rather understand these stories than just react to them, subscribing keeps them coming. Back to that frozen model. Here's the thing. This complaint is older than the panic. Back in the summer of 2023, a Stanford and Berkeley team tested one exact version of GPT-4 months apart. In March, it wrote working code 52% of the time. By June, 10%. Its accuracy at telling prime numbers apart fell from 84% to 51%. Same model. Real, measured decline. Real decline and imagined decline can both be true at once. And for years, telling them apart was impossible. Then something unusual happened. Anthropic started publishing detailed post-mortems. Those are the internal write-ups of exactly what broke and why, and almost no rival shares them. So we get a rare look under the hood. And under there sit 5 separate ways your AI gets dumber while the model never changes. Start with the plumbing. Anthropic runs Claude across 3 different chip families: Amazon's Trainium, NVIDIA's GPUs, and Google's custom TPUs, and each one needs its own tuning. In the summer of 2025, one bad setting sent short questions to servers built for million-word conversations. And the routing was sticky. Land on a broken server, and you stayed there. At its peak, it hit 16% of Claude Sonnet's traffic, roughly 1 request and 6 landing on the wrong machine. Some of it looked genuinely broken. People watched Claude drop random Thai and Chinese characters into plain English answers. The cause was buried deep, a bug in how Google's chips picked the next word, where the math ran at 2 different levels of precision and quietly corrupted the choice. The model was fine. The machine underneath it was fumbling the letters. The sneakier one is quieter. To serve millions of people cheaply, providers shrink a model's numbers, from 32 bits down to 16, then 8, even 4. Less precision, less cost, slightly worse answers. That's called quantization. And this is the part that stings. The same model name can run at full quality in one data center and a cut rate version in another. 2 people, same question, different brains. Nobody tells you which one you got. Sometimes you're not even talking to the model you think you are. Routing a slice of users to a different version is normal engineering. Quiet testing on live customers. In June, developers caught OpenAI running a newer model, GPT 5.6, on some of its coding users without a word. How did anyone notice? A hidden setting buried in the system's instructions. You can sit inside an experiment and never know it happened. Then there's the scaffolding. The instructions wrapped around the model. In spring 2026, Claude Code took 3 self-inflicted hits at once. Anthropic quietly dropped its default thinking effort from high to medium to save time. A caching bug wiped Claude's own reasoning every turn, so it kept forgetting. And a hidden rule capped its replies to 25 words between steps. On Anthropic's own tests, that cost about 3% of its intelligence. Outsiders measured worse. One security firm clocked a 47% drop. Nearly half the model's skill gone. July 1st, the frozen model. Remember it? This is what actually changed. Just before Fable 5 came back, Amazon researchers had tricked it into writing real hacking code, so the government briefly banned it from leaving the country. Anthropic's fix wasn't to retrain anything. It was a filter that reads your request, and if it looks risky, quietly hands you off to a weaker model. Opus 4.8. Fable didn't get dumber. You just stopped getting Fable. Anthropic's safety filter is twitchy. The company admits it kept a wide margin, so ordinary work, everyday C++, Rust, routine security research, trips the alarm and gets bumped down to the weaker model. It blocks the genuinely dangerous trick more than 99% of the time. It also blocks a lot of people just trying to write software. To them, Anthropic's best model quietly turned average, and no message ever said why. None of this is history. It's happening as I record this. After July 7th, Fable 5 stopped counting against your subscription and switched to pay-as-you-go credits. So the very best model now costs extra on top of what you already pay. Meanwhile, Claude's own status page logged degraded performance on the 8th and 9th, and a spike in errors on the 10th. The pattern doesn't stop. It just gets a new name. Look, some of this is you. Novelty fades. The first time an AI nails something, it feels like magic. The 10th time, it's just Tuesday. You start handing it harder problems, and you remember the peak answers, not the average ones. Skeptics point out that plenty of it got worse. Complaints never show up in the benchmarks at all. Both things are real. The tool drifts, and so does your memory of it. The real fight here is about trust. Anthropic says, flatly, that it never lowers quality because of demand or server load. Take that at face value. Then, in April, the same company admitted its infrastructure was, quote, stretched, particularly at peak hours. A leaked rival memo claimed Anthropic runs on far less computing power. Critics lined those up and saw a cover story. Serious names piled on. A senior AI director at AMD said Claude, quote, cannot be trusted to perform complex engineering. A Microsoft research manager called his sessions extremely sloppy. One critic accused Anthropic of gaslighting its own users. Notice the pattern. Nobody's furious that things change. They're furious that things change silently, and only for the people paying full price. Here's what we found. Almost every my AI got dumber story is real. Just rarely the way people assume. It's hardly ever a company reaching over to turn down a dial to punish you. It's bugs, cheaper chips, live experiments, clumsy instructions, and jumpy safety filters. Each one plausible. Each one invisible. The conspiracy is boring. It's 100 small decisions nobody told you about. And honestly, the most interesting part is what comes next. Safety filters that quietly swap in a weaker model are a brand new way for your AI to degrade. And every rival will copy it. Export controls just turned a model's safety settings into a national security lever, which means what you get served can now shift with politics. Researchers are already building tools to catch these silent swaps. The watchdogs are coming. The honest disclosure isn't. Not yet. Did Anthropic lie? Mostly no. The weights really didn't get worse. Everything around them did. The servers, the routing, the precision, the guardrails, and your own rising bar. Your AI didn't lose its mind. The machine around it just kept changing quietly, while the name on the box stayed the same. We'll keep watching what these companies ship, not just what they announce. If this cleared things up, a like genuinely helps us out. Subscribe for more of these, and I'll see you in the next one.